Hola clase. Well, today we're going to take a look at our new tense called the imperfect. We'll learn how to form it and when to use it. We're going to compare the imperfect with our other past tense called the preterite. Do not take any notes until I tell you. I want you to take a look at these examples coming up. I will let you know when to take notes. Gracias. Let's say I asked you these questions. ¿Hiciste estas actividades el sábado pasado on a particular day? Did you do these activities? ¿Jugaste al fútbol? ¿Miraste la televisión? ¿Estudiaste mucho? ¿Comiste en un restaurante? All of these verb forms are in what tense? You already know this tense. It's called the preterite. And why would that be? Well, they concern activities which you did on a particular day. In other words, these activities began and ended. They're single completed actions. Please remember that as we go through this video. Now, think about those sentences you just saw a minute ago and look at these. Cuando yo tenía 15 años, todos los días yo tomaba el bus para ir a la escuela. Siempre jugaba al béisbol. A menudo miraba la televisión. Note the difference. The difference is we don't have a particular point in the past that these actions were done. These actions were done habitually. Look at the time expressions. We have todos los días. We have siempre, a menudo, which indicates to us that these actions were done over and over and over again. No regard to time, to a specific time. Now, as you go through these sentences, keep in mind that we're not going to refer to any specific time. Cuando yo tenía 15 años, yo vivía en Nueva Jersey. De vez en cuando comía helado. Siempre les escribía a mis abuelos. No reference to a specific point in the past. No reference at all. These are actions that were done habitually. And then we have, cuando yo tenía 15 años, de vez en cuando iba al cine con mi familia. Can you guess what verb that comes from? Iba. A menudo íbamos a la playa. Can you guess what verb that comes from? These are actions that were done habitually. Look at those time expressions there. No reference to a specific time. Then we have, yo era un chico activo y era bueno también. Can you guess what verb that comes from? Era. And these right here are not actions, yet descriptions. Descriptions in the past. So, get ready to take notes now. On the next slide, you will be taking notes. The formation of the imperfect. So, begin taking notes now. The imperfect is the easiest tense in Spanish to form. All of the verbs are regular except for 3. And so, to form the verbs, the regular verbs, and once again, all of them are regular except for 3, you drop the infinitive ending and add AR verbs. Take aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban. ER and IR verbs take ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian. Don't forget to put those accent marks on the I, every single person, and don't forget to put an accent mark on abamos. So let's take a look at our first verb, and that is cantar. So you drop the infinitive ending, gives you the stem, and you add aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban. Cantaba, cantabas, cantaba, cantábamos, cantabais, cantaban. But wait a second. The yo and the el, ella, usted form have the exact same ending. You bet they do. You're going to have to clarify yo and el, ella, usted to differentiate one from the other. Look at the verb beber. Drop the infinitive ending bebía, bebías, bebía, bebíamos, bebíais, bebían. We're going to practice the pronunciation of all of these verbs and more. Then we have escribir. Drop the infinitive ending. Oops. And add escribías, escribía, escribías, escribía, escribíamos, escribíais, escribían. Fácil. This is the easiest tense in Spanish to learn. All the verbs are regular except for 3. But please remember that ER and IR verbs have the exact endings, the same endings, that the nosotros of any AR verb will have an accent, that'll be the habamos, and ER and IR verbs have the accented I. Ia, ias, ia, íamos, iais, ian. Here are 2 very important puntos especiales, clase. There are no stem changes in the imperfect. Yay! The 3 irregular verbs are ir, ser, and ver. Those are the only 3 irregulars. Everything else is regular. But please remember, AR verbs take 1 set of endings, ER and IR take another set. So, here's the irregular imperfect ir. Iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, an accent there, ibais, iban. That's ir in the imperfect. Iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, iban. Then we have ser. Era, eras, era, éramos, erais, eran. Accented here, éramos. Era, eras, era, éramos, erais, eran. That's ser in the imperfect. And now our last irregular, ver. And ver certainly looks regular, but it really is irregular because in the infinitive ending they keep the E. So it's veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, veían. So just to continue with our impersonal expressions, they all come from haber. In the imperfect we have había. So in the present tense we had I, there is and there are. Hubo in the preterite, there was, there were. And now we have había, there was, there were. And we'll learn the difference when to use hubo and when to use había. So now let's take a look at our very first use, the imperfect and the preterite. Uso número 1. So here's some examples, señoritas. The imperfect versus the preterite. See if you can understand why one's in the preterite and one's in the imperfect. Ayer fui al cine con mis amigos. Ayer, a specific time. It only happened once. Todos los días iba al cine. Every day, iba al cine. Note the difference. Look at nadar. El verano pasado. One specific time. Mis amigos nadaron en el mar. But look at, todos los veranos mis amigos nadaban en el mar. Note the difference between the preterite and the imperfect. Then we have comer. Anoche comí helado. One specific time. Single completed action. Siempre comía. Over and over and over again. Siempre. So with that in mind, señoritas, uso número 1 del imperfecto. The imperfect describes repeated habitual past actions. The moment when the action began or ended is unimportant. Luisa hablaba con sus abuelos cada semana, weekend and week out. Hablaba con sus abuelos. Ella siempre los visitaba en su casa. Siempre. Habitual repeated actions. A menudo, which means often. Ella se acostaba tarde. A menudo. Repeated habitual past actions. So, señoritas, when you first learn the difference between the imperfect and the preterite, it is often a good idea to use the time expressions, or you will see time expressions. And all of these time expressions right here are used with the imperfect because they imply repetition. Siempre, todos los días, a menudo, con frecuencia, de vez en cuando, mientras, while. There are many other ones too. If they imply repetition, go with the imperfect. And so the preterite is the opposite of the imperfect. The preterite describes an action that began and ended at a specific time in the past. It is considered a single completed action. Luisa habló con sus abuelos la semana pasada. Ella los visitó ayer. Specific time, began and ended. Anoche se acostó temprano. Note the difference between the previous slide with the imperfect time expressions and these time expressions right here and the verbs in the preterite. And so once again, time expressions are very important to learn the difference between the preterite and the imperfect. And here are time expressions used with the preterite. They're very important. They do not imply repetition. Ayer, anoche, el verano pasado, una vez, el 5 de mayo, de repente. They all do not imply repetition. And now to wrap it up, señoritas, as a general rule, the imperfect is used to describe actions which are seen by the speaker as incomplete or continuing, while the preterite is used to describe actions which have been completed. The imperfect expresses what was happening or how things used to be. The preterite, a completed action in the past. So we'll practice and practice and practice en clase mañana o la próxima clase, señoritas. Nos vemos en clase. Muchas gracias.